Turn it up.
From the YBA Phoenix Fitness 24/7 basketball facility in Rockland, California, it's Coach's Rise time with Coach C.Collins.
Get it started. 3, 2, 1.
Coach's Rise time.
Yep, it's about that time. Coach's Rise time, where I talk a little better basketball, give my insight as a coach, and just give you guys overall a pretty good perspective. I want to wish you all a happy Tuesday, September 28th. I hope everybody's doing good out there. I hope everybody's staying safe and COVID-free. It's obviously, I haven't done this in a while because I've been just honestly really busy the month of September, and it's been hard to get in here. Ty, shout out to you, brother. He had his son, so therefore that's why the About That Life podcast hasn't been active this month, because we don't have our cameraman right now. We still have 2 episodes we need to upload to YouTube. But for those of you guys out there, and I'm guessing about 80 to 90% of you guys aren't following and subscribing, it'd be really great if you could hit that follow button on the audio platforms, or you can go to YouTube and check out the episodes on YouTube. All that would be greatly appreciated. Again, I want to thank our sponsors. We have Dr. Dish, best shooting machine on the market. They have a range of models. I suggest you guys go check them out. The home model being the most productive one right now for at-home families to help your kids in their shooting prowess. So please go check them out at drdish.com. Another big shout out to West Coast Takeover with DeMario Belk. If you're looking for good tournaments in Sacramento, he is definitely a guy to hit up. Let him know About That Life podcast sent you. He might hook you up with a discount, or he might not. You never know with Mario. Just joking. No, he's a good dude. Check out West Coast Takeover. Zenify, again, a great marketing program, website program. They build and balance through their clear vision and purpose. They can solve most complex technical and business issues, and, they're a trusted advisor. So if you are growing your business and you're trying to, find a way to digitally take it to the next level, I suggest you hit Zenify up. Also, big shout out to West Coast Legends. If you need anything custom, uniforms, gear, direct-to-garment, decals, embroidery, sublimation, screen printing, graphic and logo design, banners, flyers, apparel for the family gatherings, work events, and all sporting events, please hit up West Coast Legends. My homegirl Janae and my homeboy Marcus, they run that. Please feel free to hit them up at West Coast legendsathletics.com. All the links will be in the description as usual, but please go check out our sponsors. And for those obviously supporting the subscribers and everyone supporting through the Patreon, the Podbean Patreon, the Patreon account, it's greatly appreciated. The biggest thing I also want to get out there before I get into the topic is, as I've been coaching and just going through different things, I went to the San Francisco Soldiers, their last tournament. Brian, big shout out to you, brother. Thank you for hosting a really good event. I had the coach from NorCal Preps approach me and tell me he listens to the show and he likes what I'm saying. Big shout out to you. My 7th grade ended up playing Wright Legacy in what felt like the championship game. It was a game before the championship, and it was an intense battle. Went into overtime. Unfortunately, we lost. Didn't have all my players, which is unfortunate, but no excuses. They have a really good athletic team. Talked to the parents. Even got a chance to talk to the coach, even though we got a little heated for a second. But he's a competitor like me, so I respect it. And we both acknowledge, it was just a great battle. It's just a great game. Both teams came out of that better. They punched us in the mouth early. We responded. We took the lead. We had a chance to seal the deal. Missed free throws, kind of hurt us in the end. And their kids hit some big shots that, you gotta tip your hat and just say, man, we didn't close it out like we should have, but we learn and we get better and we get ready to compete again. So I just want to make this really clear to those out there who have been supporting, listening to the show and listening to the Coach's Rise time, listening to the About That Life podcast. I really do appreciate it when people approach me and tell me, they enjoy the show. People who don't know me or just know Mark or, have seen me around. If you are someone who does enjoy the show, even let me make clear, even if you're critical of the show and you don't agree with some of the things I say, I'm more than welcome, obviously at the right and appropriate time, to have a conversation with you about it. We could have a debate about it. I'm totally open to that. I do appreciate those who have been supporting and acknowledge the work that we are trying to do and I am trying to do, because I just want to help provide a roadmap and inspire for others to be able to see and make the correct decisions for their child. And in this crazy sport of basketball, which is wonderful and amazing and chaotic and treacherous and outstanding and warming and community based, like it's all the above. I want people to take the information, make good decisions, do the things that is best for them, because that's what I care about. Those are the people I want to help, make this journey for them, because it is your journey. It is your journey, and I want to make sure you guys understand what you're doing and how you're pursuing through it. So again, for all of you guys who approach me or tell me and that you listen to the podcast and you enjoy the podcast, let me give you a big round of applause, man. I appreciate you. I do. I appreciate you guys giving me this opportunity to lend my voice and listen to it and help it make an impact. Again, I don't care if only 10 people are listening to the show. If those 10 people get a sense of direction, get a sense of inspiration, it's a really, really cool thing to me. I've also been noticing through the Podbean algorithms and statistics that, in Canada and Taiwan, I'm doing really well. The show's doing really well. Thank you guys for listening out there. It's just been really cool. It's been really cool to see that, and I want people to know how grateful I am for that. I want to get my show more over the top in terms of I want to make it consistently on YouTube. Get more camera work. I need to figure it out myself, because with Ty being absent, we got to figure out the camera side of things. But I do want to try to get more content out to you guys, and I do have the next couple of months I'll be a lot more free. So hopefully I can push more episodes out, have a few more guests. I'm supposed to have quite a few awesome guests lined up for you guys who are, different aspects of life, but love the game of basketball, and it's the unifying thing that ties us all. So I do hope you stay tuned for that and check that out, because I'm looking really forward to it. But again, with all that being said and all that coming to a close, I know that's a good 7-minute stretch of a lot of monologuing and talking, but let's get to the topic right now. So the thing I wanted to talk about today is I've been noticing a trend when it comes to the basketball world. One it's pretty alarming for me, and I don't like it. Me personally, the YouTube basketball world, and even trickling all the way to the AAU basketball world, it's becoming more of a fight culture. And, fights happen in basketball. Let me make a few disclaimers clear. Fights happen, typically amongst older kids. I want to say the little kids, not so much. Every now and then you'll run across a kid who's a little shit, and, sometimes he needs a little elbow to the chest and now to back him off. But, for the most part, the younger kids, they just want to have fun and compete. But around, 7th grade, 8th grade, they start to get their egos, testosterone kicking in. And obviously I'm mainly talking to the boys' side. And then by high school, the egos are kicking in, mixed with the testosterone. And then you throw in the sex drive with these boys trying to impress these young women. It can get pretty crazy. But unfortunately, I'm seeing more and more fight culture be prevalent in basketball. Let me say something to some of you hoopers out there, and I hope it goes to you young hoopers, and even you parents that encourage your kids to fight. If you want them to fight so bad, why don't you put them in a combat sport? That's what I don't understand. If you want your basketball player to be a fighter, put them in boxing, put them in UFC, put them in Muay Thai, put them in Aikido, Jiu-Jitsu, Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, kickboxing. Like, put them in any of those martial arts and let them fight. Boxing is a great sport. I did it for years, and it got me in some of the best shape of my life. However, I never went to basketball courts looking to fight. And a lot of this is just really alarming to me because parents, do you understand when you encourage or you instigate your kids to fight? If you are fighting in the crowd, we live in an age of cameras everywhere. Everywhere. There's every single person damn near on this planet. I don't know the statistics. I wish I would have checked. Has a phone with a camera attached to it. And that means at any point in time, your actions can be recorded. And for people around my age, and I'm 38, you have to remember we are the last generation that can truly remember what life was like without the internet and cell phones, when everything wasn't recorded. We are the last generation that can remember that. The generation after us, they will never, and the generations further will never recall a time where the internet did not exist, where YouTube did not exist, where life functioned without social media. And with that being said, we cannot encourage our kids to fight. They're out there to play basketball. You know, you got the Nick Breeze, or hopefully I'm saying it right. I don't know. I don't dislike the cat. I just don't. I don't get it. You know, he's become a super famous YouTuber, making money, and clearly, by releasing thumbnails on YouTube of fights about to break out. I see it more and more with the Ball is Life, West Coast and East Coast, and even now the Ball is Life South, because I'm one who likes street ball videos, me personally. If you guys didn't know that, I like YouTube street ball videos. I had a chance to meet a couple of those street ball guys. Marcellus is in that world, so luckily, you know, I have someone I'm connected to that's in that world as well. The guy that plays Division III, I'm not thinking of his name. Sorry, was it Ferreira? I'm sorry if I pronounced that incorrectly, but he was in SAC recently, and it was a huge event. It was a great event, but then I heard it got shot up. So, you know, go figure. I'm tired of seeing the fight culture, and I normally wouldn't want to make a segment about this, but because it should be obvious, we as coaches should not be inciting violence. We shouldn't be inciting violence amongst my players. I had a coach not too long ago at courtside. I don't know why I can't think of the team right now, but my team we were winning. We're getting into it, and I'm sorry, I'm going to have to look this up, so please bear with me, because, I mean, it just constitutes kind of the culture of what's happening in basketball, which is just bothering me. You know, we were playing at courtside, and this coach, let me make sure I have the team correct. I think it was Team Havoc? Or was it NorCal Supreme? I wish I could remember. It was Team Havoc. It was. Team Havoc, the coach from there, started getting into it with me. Like, my players were, you know, it was a heated game. I mean, some of his players, quite honestly, were doing some dirty little stuff. And this is against my freshmen, my team with Muhammad and those guys. And they're battling, they're playing. And, you know, to be fair, we had a sizable lead, and we knew we had a handle on the game. But then the kids started, like, trying to undercut my guys and throw out. And so the coach, apparently he must be a fan, because he starts talking to me like he said, your players. I said, and he starts talking to my players directly. And that's an unspoken rule amongst coaches. You don't, unless it's a compliment or unless you're trying to say something positive, you don't speak to another team's players. And he's speaking to my player, Muhammad. And he's speaking to my other players, and he's telling them, he's like, you know, take your asses back to Hardwood. YBA needs to go back to Hardwood. And he's like, you know, you need to cut that shit out. And I said, hey, coach, like, I'll talk to my players. Like, you know, you talk to your players, I'll talk to my players. Like, you don't have to talk to them like that. You know what I mean? At the end of the day, they're kids. He starts then talking to me. And that's Sean Grady. He was reffing my game. Sean's a comedian. He's hilarious. But he starts talking to me saying, you know, why don't you go back to your weak ass training? Why don't you go back to hardwood where you belong? You know, I've been a coach longer than you. I'm a better coach than you. And he's talking, and I'm like, and I'm saying to him, why? Why are you talking to me like this? Like, what is your point? Yeah, I mean, he's like, it's bad sportsmanship. I said, dude, they're just barking at each other. It's basketball. It's a little bit of trash talk. But why are you talking to me? Like, I'm not even trying to, and I clap my hand trying to calm myself down. And he's like, yeah, pray for me. Like, you need to pray. I said, dude, why? What is wrong with you? This is a grown man talking to me, trying to instigate something. And then he said, yeah, well, go back to your training. Go back. I said, well, clearly you're a fan because I have no fucking clue who you are, but you know I'm a trainer and you know I'm director of YBA. So you're either a fan or a stan. Either way, like, you know who I am. I have no fucking clue who you are, right? Not to say I'm better than him or anything like that, because I'm not. I'm not better than the next man. I got my own fucking issues just like anybody else out there. But what I'm saying is, why is this culture in basketball of inciting violence? This all came from a game that boiled over. To be honest, let me circle it back and say, like, where is this coming from? Why is, Chris looking at it like this? Well, a few weeks back, there was a big brawl that broke out that I watched personally myself. And it bothered me a lot because it was 1440 and the Sac Hoyas. And these are two teams that I have history with. Well, my teams, we've battled against each other for quite a while. Played against them, the Hoyas, for years. You know what I mean? You remember way back when I mentioned the Hoyas on the podcast, their coach got upset and made an Instagram post about me and whatnot, and that's okay. Hey, man, people are entitled to their opinion about me. It is what it is. As long as you don't threaten me or come at me like you want to do physical violence, hey, say what you want about me, okay? So they end up getting into a big brawl. And I'm only going to say what I saw. A lot of people told me things, but it's not my place, even on this show, to say their business. But they were losing. 1440 got their butts kicked. The Hoyas just played flat-out better basketball. I'm on court 2 coaching my team. They're on court 1 playing. This is at Hardwood Palace. Their head coach, Mamo, he is an interesting fellow. And Mamo, if you hear the show, I don't care, bro. I'm not talking bad about you. But I am going to say what I saw. Brother, you are a coach. And I'm talking directly to you now. You are a coach, Mamo. You're the head coach at El Camino High. You're a coach for your son and other young men. At what point do you think maybe you got to set the example, man? Why are you so combative? And if you want to come on the show and say your side of things, please, the invitation's there. Come on the show, sit down on the couch. Let's hear from you. But why are you like that, brother? I've known you a long time, coached against you a long time. I've literally watched your kids grow up. I've Kiku Senior, if you hear this, if anybody tells you, hey, Chris was talking about you on the show, I'm not talking bad. I'm saying I've literally watched both your son grow up, both your sons. And keep in mind, both you guys were a part of YBA for a while. Not a few seconds, a while. I don't get it, man. Do you understand one bad video? Recall the kid that punched the kid in Oakland. The Asian kid, especially during a time where they're saying stop Asian hate when it was super prevalent. That kid was in 8th grade, 14 years old, punched the kid. Boom, solely square there. That video is going to chase him for the rest of his life. One punch, one mistake. For the rest of his life, he's going to have to defend and explain that. I've watched a lot of your kids grow up, gentlemen. Al. I've watched your son grow up. Durante, I've watched your son grow up, and I train him, and, I like to think I have a good relationship with him. Even though he hates that I talk about the way he lifts weights all the time. I have personal connections with your guys' kids. Of course, when we play against you guys, I want my kids to beat your kids. That's just the competitive nature. But I don't want to see your kids fail. And what I hate to see is one act of violence, one punch, one fight be the detriment and definition of who your kid is for the rest of their life. Why aren't you seeing that? It can't be that way. We have to do better, coaches. Mamo, you have to do better, brother. I'm going to hold you accountable. You were getting into it with me the game before you played the Hoyas. Me and you. And I don't get into it with you like that. What is your vendetta, bro? Why so much anger? I'm asking you this because hopefully you hear it and hopefully you think about it and just be like, man, I would like to believe you don't want to be known as the guy that wants to fight everybody, the guy that wants to, be the hated coach that incites violence. Like, I don't think that's what a reputation you want. And again, I could be wrong. Maybe you don't care. But I challenge you, man. I challenge you. Just try to be the best example you can for the kid you coach, because coaches, we do have more power than we realize. We have more influence than we realize. I want you guys to think about that moving forward. The Hoyas in the 1440, it became a big brawl. Parents swinging. Police being called. And let me make this clear. The Hoyas were not the aggressors. 1440 was. They initiated the violence. I saw it. I'm saying, please, coaches, when the game, and this is when the game was over. The game was over. They were in the shake hands line. One of the players took a swing. It escalated from there. Why should that even be happening? You all go to school together, young men. You all grew up together. You all know each other. Listen, if you really, really have problems that bad, just go to the boxing gym. There's one, the one I go to is right down the street from my house. Go to the boxing gym, go one round, go spar, and then after that, you just let it out. Kiko, I'm going to talk to you, kid. If you hear this. If you hear this. If you don't, it's okay. Maybe this message will get to somebody else. Kiko, you are extremely talented, young man. You are a very gifted athlete. I've watched you grow up. I've literally watched you play. Remember the first time I played against you with my older team, with Keandre and those guys. And I remember having to force you left, and your dad actually came to me and said, thanks for forcing my son left. Like, you forced him to have to go left. That's when you didn't have a left hand, kid. And that was the first time I saw you play, first time I met you. We won. My team won. And, again, I always thought you were a great player, great athlete. Son, please, please, please don't make that mistake of messing everything up with just one impulsive moment. You're too talented. And I know your dad wants more for you than that. Your dad has been in your corner. I see that man at almost all your games advocating for you. He cares about you. I know your dad wants what's best for you. So, again, just one older brother to a younger brother. Just give you some advice, man. And you take it if you want to or you don't. But just think, kid. Control your emotions and think. There's nothing wrong with being a competitor. There's nothing wrong with having a little bit of trash talk. There's nothing wrong with going out there and doing your thing. But if the games and everything get violent, son, that's all you'll be known for. And I know there's more to you than that. That's not who you are. That's not, I don't think it is. Man, I really just want you guys to think, parents think, do not allow these kids to breed into the fight culture in basketball. Fights happen because of heated moments, but level heads need to prevail. I don't like what I'm seeing with the fight culture of basketball, fellas. I want to see it stop. And you're talking to a guy who used to box. Like, I don't want to fight. I don't want to see violence. I get heated. I get upset just like anybody else. But we are an evolved society, or we would like to think ourselves as such. We should be able to handle things with our words. We should be able to have difference of opinion and debate and still walk away as men. For you young guys out there, please think before you act. One bad swing, one bad decision could define you for the rest of your life. Could make you lose scholarships. Could make guys think, oh no, I can't have this guy on my team. I just want you guys to think. And I know this was more of a pretty somber, kind of to the point episode. You know me, I want to make my more Rise times more uplifting and just kind of fun, or some insight about basketball and reality. But I just had to talk about it. You know, on the positive side, my freshmen played in the Yellow Jackets tournament last weekend and won. They won very decisively. Yellow Jackets, big shout out to you guys for hosting a really good tournament. My 7th grade went 1 and 2. We were not at full strength, so we unfortunately lost. Still seeing a lot of kids that shouldn't be in the correct ages and grades playing in the wrong ages and grades. But it's just a thing that's going to happen. I want people out there to get prepared for high school season, middle school seasons, enjoy it, have fun with it, make your mark, compete, be that 7%. I say it to my kids all the time, fighting for 7. Be the 7%, the 7% of athletes that get to play college basketball. Be that, fight for it, and do things the right way. I wish you all the best moving forward for this high school season. I'm excited to see what happens. Parents, for those who listening to this episode, hopefully it resonates with you. Hopefully you feel like, man, Chris says some deep stuff. And I like what he's saying. I want to see everybody succeed. You know, of course, I want YBA to thrive because that's my personal stake in it. But everybody should be shining. Everybody be safe out there, man. If you want to support, please sign up for the Patreon or the Podbean Patreon. You know, hit that follow button. Again, shout out to my sponsors. Thank you. Everybody stay blessed. I know this was a tough episode. Hopefully it doesn't rub anybody the wrong way, because I mean this with all love and respect. And I'm out.